What's going on, everyone? Today we're still working on the Mario Xbox. I just got I used some plastic weld actually to fill in the 360 part here. That's going to take about an hour to cure, and I'm hoping that will sand okay. I didn't want to spend $27 on Bondo just to fill that little bit there, but as long as we don't have a big divot that the sticker is trying to go over, where there's just going to be an exposed part of the sticker that will slowly collect dust and then it'll slowly start to come off. So that's why we have this smoothed down so that I can drop my sticker on the floor. And this is going to partially go over that part. So we just want that to be smooth. While that's curing, we can get this other stuff ready. We got a top and bottom vent. Go ahead and use this one. This one's nasty, but we'll get a window cut out here. Hole is cut out. Put a little Goo Gone on that little nasty poo stuff. Cleaned off and sanded. That should be ready. Let's go ahead and get, looks like one's missing already, but we'll take the rubber feet off of these. And these are both actually in really good shape. They're just obviously a little dirty. So I don't think I'm going to sand them at all. I'm just going to give them a good wash. Now back over here, this might not quite be ready to be sanded yet, but I have finally settled on trying to incorporate the piranha plant in some way. I know I talked about cutting this into like having teeth and painting it so it's like red with white spots or something, but I just have too many ideas, I think, for the piranha plant and like painting the whole thing to kind of go with it. Could probably save that for its own build. And this one, I just kept circling back to wanting it to be nice and clean. So, still want to do the silver on the main side. On the top, what I'd like to do is paint the top vent red, paint this blue, and then use a yellow window, and that will pretty much be Mario's colors, right? His shirt, overalls, the big yellow buttons on there, and we'll just probably have Mario, or it'll say Mario, and keep the chrome, although this one's not in the worst shape, but there are a good amount of scratches around the edges. I'm sure I have a better one. And then the bottom is where I'm still, don't know if I want to do brown or green. But like I said, circling back to what I said about the piranha plant, I think what I want to do here with this empty space is cut another window in the shape of one of the pipes. And then we can back it with green acrylic. And then most likely, I can't really find a lot of stickers. Obviously, Mario, there's a lot of licensing. Kind of strict about finding, specific kind of stickers. But we'll get a piranha plant, most likely printed out and laminated, and then inside that window. So you'll see the green pipe, but instead of the plant being coming out of the top, and then you see them, the pipe will be see-through, and you'll be able to see the plant inside the pipe, kind of looking up at Mario like, oh crap, he's about to get juiced. I don't know. Does that mean steroids nowadays? That could mean something weird. Anyway, let me mark that out. We'll get this cut, and then hopefully by then we can get this whole thing kind of sanded. Alright, there we go. I think we're about ready to get these stickers off, get this whole thing cleaned up nicely. And I think I'm going to commit to installing my last Talisman Whisper fan on this build here. I think that's going to provide the good amount of light for this here, so this can kind of be illuminated. And there are green LEDs in there already. We'll probably leave that. And then hopefully that won't really affect light going on here until we have our switch turned on with all the RGB lights. So this stuff has to dry, and by then it'll probably be dark out. Started late outside today because of course it was raining again. Our fence is actually full of algae because it hasn't been fully dried in over a month. Got our two windows cut. We're using that same green we used on the Modern Warfare Xbox. It's going to go behind this. And then we've got the yellow, same yellow I believe we used on the Bumblebee build. Since it's dark out and I'm getting eaten alive by some sort of bug out there, work on this stuff tomorrow, and for now we're going to start something pretty cool. Some of you know I've got two pretty special aftermarket 360 shells. This one here is actually one of the more common XCM shells, the red and the blue. This is a full blue shell, brand new. We have the faceplate as well, and this guy here, some of you may not even know what it is. This is the XCM Liquid Metal Shell. It is see-through, but it looks silver. They only made 100 of these, and they were only sold in the UK. Now, I think it's a bit of a shame to have these sitting here until I get around to actually building something on them. We have some Xboxes, so why don't we put them on an Xbox, add some LEDs, see what these things are going to look like, and at least store them to where they're together on a working system. So this one here has a cutout on the back to fit both HDMI and non-HDMI systems. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put that on this one here, and you will see that one on the membership. That'll be a membership-only video. But today, we're going to put the liquid metal shell. I have a good working Opus. That's the one that's going on the Mario build. This one is a non-HDMI only, unless you actually trim the shell. So you can see right there. And I think what we're going to do is, I've got a bunch of that really bright red LED strip. We'll solder up one of those, and yeah, put that inside the liquid metal shell. And I think I want to try the bright white LEDs inside the blue one. So this is our Opus here, and I realized besides the Halloween build, which I'm not going to put it on that one, we do actually have another non-HDMI. This one is a good Y1, just has a bad BenQ laser. Not really worried about the DVD drive, we just kind of want to see what it looks like all lit up. So I think we'll throw it on this one, since we'll have to take it back off of this one relatively soon anyway. Alright, easy peasy. 3-pin connector on the 12 volts right here. 3-pin connector on the end of this. We won't necessarily use all the rest of it. I actually do, I think, need at least a little bit for the Halloween build. And this shell does not come with top or bottom vents. I don't exactly have anything prepared for this. So we're just going to put some regular ones on there. Okay, I just put the whole thing in there. I didn't stick on like the whole second half of it. I started to around here and then just kind of threw it in there. Not worried about the heat sink or any of this stuff. I just want to see what it looks like with really bright light behind it. Okay, I actually took some of it and we're just hanging it down there next to Leonard. That way we can kind of hopefully shove some in the back as well, see if we can get that illuminated. Look at that. If we go over here, you can see it is see-through. Okay, so I got this case screw and this case screw in very carefully. I'm not going to worry about the other ones. That's actually the one thing that's broken on this one. Maybe it's not that one. I guess it's the one back here. Broke off, which is pretty simple, and you can see from this side, because it's a see-through case, where it kind of cracked right there from the underside. Top side's fine. So we should be able to glue that on just fine, but we'll worry about that when we actually build this. And that was something that was just damaged in shipping. The guy I got this from had like 3 of these, and all 3 had some sort of shipping damage, and this was the least noticeable one. Right, so I did not clip it in the back. It's just close enough to get the vents on there for obvious reasons, because that would be stressful. It's stressful enough having it on here. So the camera doesn't really pick it up, but it's like kind of trippy in person. Like as you look around it, it does kind of look like liquid metal. I don't know how to see it a little bit. So I'm going to put this up top. This isn't going to be really a functional one. This drive needs a laser anyway. That's not why I didn't put the eject button in. I did that because I totally forgot. I'm also kind of nervous about the faceplate, and I mean, we do have a chrome one we could just put on there for now. So it does look good, but we're going to put the actual faceplate on here. The whole point of doing this is to not have it in storage and to have it together, looking cool on the shelf. Because who knows, a train could drive through my house tomorrow. Super cool. Okay, yeah, that looks way better. I've got it plugged in over here, and I was just about to say this would probably be the time that this Xbox shows the red ring of death, but I guess it will anyway if we don't have this plugged in, and I'm fine with that. The red should match the red. I don't want the light from the TV to disturb what we're about to see. Let's turn off all the lights. That is crazy. I was worried, like, if I water cooled it or something, you wouldn't really be able to see anything in there, but, I mean, you can kind of make out what's going on, and I think if we used the white lights, actually, and made sure they were, like, kind of close to the motherboard, it should hopefully illuminate everything, and maybe we can build something just like Vader, except obviously nothing, no fan, no holes cut. Still showing 4 lights, that's good. Can see the reflection. Oh, that's so cool. Even with this LED strip facing outwards, it's still kind of dispersing it a little because it's not like fully clear, it's just kind of opaque. This is awesome too up here. But yeah, I think this would be even cooler. I mean, the red is awesome. I think with white, and with like water cooling stuff in there, you'd be able to actually really see everything. But when it's off, it just looks like a silver Xbox, but like a really cool silver Xbox, because you can see all the little bracing and everything in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to not like, comment, or subscribe. Go ahead and check out that membership if you want to see me put that clear blue shell on my current Jasper that I'm using as my personal one. And we're also going to talk about the next giveaway that's happening in a few days. And the following giveaway, which will happen, well, at least end on Halloween, is our Halloween Xbox.